Hey guys, so today I'm gonna show you my NFL lineups for Week 8. This is Fanduel God One on Instagram, Fanduel God One on Twitter. If you have any questions or messages, go ahead and tweet me or follow me on Instagram. I do have more lineups on my page, so go ahead and send me a message if you need an extra lineup. So for my quarterback, I'm going with Philip Rivers. They are going to be playing the Ravens on Sunday. I do have a stack here with Keenan Allen and Ladarius Green. Looks like Gates is not going to be able to go. He is injured and questionable. At this point, he's doubtful to play on that game, so I don't expect them to have action on that game. That means more targets for Ladarius Green. He has had a lot of touchdowns even when Gates is playing. Not a lot of catches, but he does have 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games, so that would be one of my sleepers there, and I'm just going with the stack with Rivers and Allen against the Ravens. Allen has been huge this year. He has the most targets for wide receivers, and Rivers has been pretty consistent in his last games, so over 25 points, averaging over 25 points in his last 4 games, so I do expect him to have over 25 points against the Ravens. For my running backs, I'm going with Todd Gurley. He had a 30-point game last weekend. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. And against the San Francisco Niners, he's going to be able to hopefully score more touchdowns. He looked pretty good against Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland, Chris Johnson is going to be playing the Browns at Cleveland, so I expect him to have a big game. Now, he is going to be sharing the ball with 2 other running backs, but clearly he's the main running back in Arizona, so he should be getting most of the touches there in the running back position. I expect him to have a couple of touchdowns as well against the Browns, like Gurley did last week. For my other receiver, I have Martavis Bryant with Big Ben coming back. He is going to have a lot of targets. Wallace is going to be mainly covered by, I also expect Wallace to have a lot of targets, but Martavis Bryant is only 7,200, so that means more targets with Big Ben in the passing game, and hopefully more catches and touchdowns for Bryant. So go ahead and pick him up. I think he's going to have a huge game. He is a deep pass threat on the passing game, so go ahead and pick him up. And my number 1 sleeper, I would say, is Marvin Jones. He is only 5,400. I expect Dalton to have a big game against against Pittsburgh and the Steelers. And again, AJ Green is going to be covered, and hopefully Marvin Jones gets a lot of targets and looks. Did have 9 catches last week and 20 points and a receiving touchdown, so he could be sleeper there this week, NFL Week 8 against the Steelers. For my kicker, I have McManus against the Packers. Now, the Packers defense is playing really good this year. I expect the Broncos to get past the 50-yard line, but I expect the Packers defense to come up big, so that means more chances for the kicker and to get points. Hopefully, a couple of 40-yard field goals and 50-yard field goals, but I mean, you can never predict the kicker's points because it just depends on, too many variables. So, but I do like him because the Green Bay Packers have a good defense. So the Broncos might get to past the 50-yard line, but the Packers are not gonna be not gonna let the Broncos score a touchdown. So hopefully that means a lot of field goals for Denver. But I mean, you can go with any kicker at this point. I mean, different kickers get higher scores every single week, so that's up to you. And for the defense, I have Carolina Panthers. They are playing the Colts. Andrew Luck has been throwing a lot of interceptions. This year, he has matched his rookie year in interceptions, I believe. So I expect a big game from the Panthers on Monday night. And their defense is only 4,800. So as you can see, I do have 400 salary remaining, but I think this lineup will score pretty big. I have good solid picks, If Marvin Jones and Martavis Bryant can come up big, I expect this lineup to do real well. If you guys have any other questions, if you guys need any extra lineups for NFL Week 8, I do have a lot of lineups set up for different contests on FanDuel. So go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and I will be able to let you know. I do sell the lineups for $10 each or $20 for 3 lineups, so I do have that going on. Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, FanduelGod1, or Twitter at FanduelGod1. But thank you guys so much for watching. Just wanted to show you guys my NFL Week 8 lineups and picks. You can definitely go ahead and use this lineup. And hopefully you guys can score on your 50-50s or your head-to-heads, or even put this lineup in a big contest. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and click the subscribe button, and let's win this money.